AOMA.
And call you guys.
You ready? A country with an island vibe. I swear I had an eyes. And yeah, we just down all night. Mixing the 5-year-𝒂𝒊𝒎𝒆 with eyes. So Tony got the whole place hype. And we celebrating life. Coffee in the morning, so we toast it. Say we just fine aisle, but they boasting. No, we ain't boasting. No. Oh no. I ain't going nowhere. I love this place. 𝒂𝒑𝒂𝒊𝒎𝒆. Oh no. Welcome to 𝒂𝒂𝒊𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂. Every country want friendship, like the village on the East Bank. But you can't hang if you ain't gang. For my first interview, I tell police thanks. And I brought the bag, my passport and got a stamp. You can't dance abroad if you can't dance a yard. We gon' catch it when it's good, cause we stay when it's hard. Not for them, live in country and people don't spend it long. Them under them is fraud, not for them sell the land. So pay rent on another land. When Guyana got a lot of land, but they blame the government. But this nation got God cover us. Blessing on everyone, listen brother man. Put 2 and 2 together, don't listen to the one. Some of them just like to alcohol, heap of stuff. Anywhere we go, we just run. Buy this a Jeep, the city boy, yeah, we got the tin with blood, so. Oh no, I ain't going nowhere. I love this place. 𝒂𝒑𝒂𝒊𝒎𝒆. Oh no, welcome to 𝒂𝒂𝒊𝒂𝒂𝒂. Say a country with an island vibe. I swear I had an eyes. And yeah, we the down all night. Mixing the 5-year-𝒂𝒊𝒎𝒆 with eyes. So Tony got the whole place hype. And we celebrating life. Coffee in the morning, so we toast it. Say we just fine aisle, but they boasting. No, we ain't boasting. No, oh no, I ain't going nowhere. I love this place. 𝒂𝒑𝒂𝒊𝒎𝒆. Oh no, welcome to 𝒂𝒂𝒊𝒂𝒂𝒂. A country with the island vibe. A country with the island vibe. This is a country with the island vibe. A country with the island vibe. I swear Guyana eyes.
HD production.
Yeah. Show them that we born ready. Show them how we gon' do it. Show them that we born ready. Show them how Guyana sweet. Show them how Guyana nice. Show them that we know but back and our hands up there and make some noise. Show them how Guyana sweet. Show them how Guyana nice. Show them that we know but back and our hands up there and make some noise. Guyana is a nice place. Guyana is a real nice place. Don't hurt up your head, don't worry yourself. Welcome down one and now.
Welcome to the new party capital.
After fete, calling me name. The people keep calling me. The unity calling me. After fete, calling me name. The people keep calling me. The unity calling me. Only good vibes, good energy. We want up inside our head. Good vibes, good energy. Can't jump up with family. Only good vibes, good energy. We want up inside our head. Good vibes, good energy. Can't jump up with family. Show them how Guyana sweet. Show them how Guyana nice. Show them that we know but back and our hands up there and make some noise. Show them how Guyana sweet. Show them how Guyana nice. Show them that we know but back and our hands up there and make some noise. Guyana is a nice place. Guyana is a real nice place. Don't hurt up your head, don't worry yourself. Welcome down one and now.
Welcome to the new party capital.
All the all-inclusives right there. And the dirty juves right there. And the girls them whining from night till morning. And the all black parties and the flying all the artists. It's a vibe in it. It's only good vibes, good energy. We want up inside our head. Good vibes, good energy. Can't jump up with family. It's only good vibes, good energy. We want up inside our head. Good vibes, good Show them how Guyana sweet. Show them how Guyana nice. Show them that we know but bacchanal. Hands up there and make some noise. Show them how Guyana sweet. Show them how Guyana nice. Show them that we know but bacchanal. Hands up there and make some noise. Show them that we born ready. Show them how we gon' do it. Show them that we born ready, ready. Guyana is a nice place. Guyana is a real, real nice place. Don't hot up your head. Don't worry yourself. Welcome down one and all.
Caution them.
AG.
Make it an anthem. Land of Guyana, of rivers and plains.
I'm a real Guyanese.
From the time when I step on the scene to the moment me leave.
I'm a real Guyanese.
From the red to the black to the gold to the white to the green.
I'm a real Guyanese.
And nothing can change me. So nothing can change me.
I'm a real Guyanese.
I live in a foreign country. So nothing can change me. 6 races, beautiful faces. Put your hand them in the air if you're not racist. I pledge myself to honor always. I will never disgrace this. Them want peace and we mop. Wait your mothers, we not get you that. No, not one caress. Not a blade of grass. Listen up, 83,000 square miles. Oh my God, we find aisle. Me not tell you no lie. Guyana nice, but me swear for my life. Land of many waters, bring out all the leaders in the sun, them and the daughters. If you want to, we fight. No, not at all.
I'm a real Guyanese.
From the time when I step on the scene to the moment me leave.
I'm a real Guyanese.
From the red to the black to the gold to the white to the green.
I'm a real Guyanese.
And nothing can change me. So nothing can change me.
I'm a real Guyanese.
I live in a foreign country. So nothing can change me. Big up Stockbrook. Allow it tough crook. It now is pretty son about that try act shook. God big up GRM, me know I'm a tax look. And when me have the money, me can go for my bank book. Beautiful Guyana, we there in South America. Land of kite, the flora and the fauna. Independent people, so we doing what we wanna. Never violate because you could become a Ghana. Them love we country, all the foreigners, them children salute you. In the Indian temp, love we border, we no want no problem. Never fall, we forever standing. Me love how God make ya, would never forsake ya. Unique in every way, could I never mistake ya. If Guyana was a girl, we surely would date ya. That's why them want take ya.
I'm a real Guyanese.
From the time when I step on the scene to the moment me leave.
I'm a real Guyanese.
From the red to the black to the gold to the white to the green.
I'm a real Guyanese.
And nothing can change me. So nothing can change me.
I'm a real Guyanese.
I live in a foreign country. So nothing can change me.
I'm a real Guyanese.
From the time when I step on the scene to the moment me leave.
I'm a real Guyanese.
From the red to the black to the gold to the white to the green.
I'm a real Guyanese.
And nothing can change me. So nothing can change me.
I'm a real Guyanese.
I live in a foreign country. So nothing can change me.
Morning guys. Share the live. Facebook behaving terrible. Share the live.
Caution them.
AG.
Make it an anthem. Land of Guyana, of rivers and plains.
I'm a real Guyanese.
From the time when I step on the scene to the moment me leave.
I'm a real Guyanese.
From the red to the black to the gold to the white to the green.
I'm a real Guyanese.
And nothing can change me. So nothing can change me.
I'm a real Guyanese.
I live in a foreign country. So nothing can change me. 6 races, beautiful faces. Put your hand them in the air if you're not racist. I pledge myself to honor always. I will never disgrace this. Them want peace and we map. Wait your mother, we not get you that. No, no, not one caress. Not a blade of grass. Listen up. 83,000 square miles.
So guys, you're gonna get kicked off in 2 minutes. If you tuned in here already, please share the live. Please share the live for me in whatever group you may be in, on your page, with your friends in a messenger. Let's get the word out there. Got a pretty exciting program for you guys this morning. How many persons were able to see the 𝒊𝒏𝒂𝒊𝒎 show last night? 𝒐𝒐𝒑𝒚𝒓𝒊𝒈𝒂𝒊. Oh my goodness. You see this boy Joel? You see this boy Joel? He's trouble. Joel back with this trouble. Morning to all the people too did already. Eunice Rago Sally Jones. Thanks for calling out the troops, Sally. Zaza Ali. Good morning to you. 𝒂𝒊𝒏𝒂𝒊𝒕, good morning. What's happening on the East Bank there? Omar Sharif already locked in. Gata Nandalal. Oh my gosh. Chitra Sukraj. Good morning, good morning, good morning. And Sally, listen to me. Joel more than nailed it. Don't say nailed it. Joel brutalized, disfigured, dismembered all the arguments put forward by Mr. Alexander last night, and I love the way that he approached it in terms of a evidence-based assessment based on the information in their report. Actually, not the report, but their strategic plan for 𝒖𝒔𝒆𝒂𝒊𝒆, right? So, first of all, I'm encouraging everybody who's here, take some time, go to the Guyanese Critics page and look at last night's episode of the 𝒊𝒏𝒂𝒊𝒆𝒂𝒊𝒕 show. You understand? You will not be disappointed. You will not be disappointed. Joel knocked that out the park. And that is what I like about the young man. You see, he's young. So a lot of these guys like Vincent and some of these parliamentarians and even young people like him just underestimate him. But when Joel come, he's come hard. He's come hard. So again, I'm going to ask you guys to share the live before we jump into this morning's content on the Livewire. Livewire. We enjoyed ourselves this morning. So again, morning to all the persons who are here. Gil Eon, morning to you. All the persons tuned in already. Please share the live, whether you're looking at us from Facebook or on YouTube. Share the live so we could get the message out there. Morning to all the persons around the regions here in Guyana. Morning to all the RDC staff. Morning to all the staff of the ministries, all the ministers, our prime minister, or vice president, and also our commander in chief, or chief, or leader, right? Or President Ali, who has been representing us abroad. And when I say representing, I'm talking proper representation, right? Proper representation from President Ali. Now, I keep asking persons, how do you think, or how do you feel Guyana's performance would have been if we had Aubrey Norton as a representative? Do you think we would have been represented in such a manner? No. Anyway, but before we get into that, I wanted to touch on this Joel thing a little, right? So last evening on the 𝒊𝒏𝒂𝒊𝒆𝒂𝒊𝒕 show, he had Mr. Joel Bagwood, and he also had Mr. Vincent Alexander. Now, Vincent Alexander is one of the PNC commissioners at GCOM, and he's also the head of 𝒖𝒔𝒆𝒂𝒊𝒆, the International Decade of People of African Descent, the Guyana chapter. As in, you'd have heard in previous news articles and in certain quarters, 𝒖𝒔𝒆𝒂𝒊𝒆 has been how to put it, they have not been outright and forthcoming with what is needed for organizations of this nature, right? So it has been an extensive period without any audits done on this agency or this organization. In terms of the disbursement of funds that have been made to the organization, there is no proper paper trail. There has been, we've heard from the vice president. A lot of the money has been going to salaries and buildings and that kind of thing, and not actually helping the Afro-Guyanese that it was meant for. Anyway, it began with Freddie reading an excerpt from the strategy and how the strategy was formulated. And Joel totally kicked that out to the park. Kick it out. Kick it out. That foolishness. So now he's like, oh, it wasn't a survey that was done. So Joel pulls up, and that is what I like about the boy. When he comes out, he has his evidence there. He has the document there. So Joel pull up the document and say, well, look, this year, y'all only spoke with 17 people. Vincent Alexander now trying to trick people and tell people, oh, it's outreaches and group work and the group respond, and nothing in the strategy states that it was a group activity, how many persons are involved. You understand me? And even as Joel highlighted to us, the minimum requirement for something like that would be 10%, and it fell woefully below. So imagine they're commenting on Guyanese being disenfranchised, Guyanese not getting contracts and that kind of thing, right? 17 people were used in what Vincent Alexander is deeming not a survey and historical evidence, as he put it. So 17 people are they using. You understand? And out of the 17, they're saying that's 23%. And they're speaking on behalf of disenfranchised Afro-Guyanese. What kind of numbers is that? How are you getting a holistic view of what is going on for Afro-Guyanese in Guyana when you're sampling from 17? And as Joel highlighted, in the document, it says nothing about it being only about it being 17 groups. You understand? Nothing of the sort. So you could see the discomfort on Vincent Alexander's face when Joel is throwing his arguments into the bin as a lawyer. And I say this to persons, people like Vincent Alexander, they use their training, because he's a lawyer, to use fancy words and speak slow. You understand? And they try to confuse persons who might not be as well learned as them, or be able to disseminate the information that they're putting out, to pull the bull from the sense. You understand me? So that is what they do. I remember looking at this man as a GCOM commissioner, standing outside the GCOM, trying to explain away the worst atrocities of the coalition. You understand? In fancy English. So anyway, y'all watch that show. I have blackout here and my laptop about to die, and I want to tell y'all about what the president doing overseas, right? So we read some articles about the president talking about the carbon talks being derailed, right? And let's elaborate a little bit on that so you have a better understanding of what he was talking about. You understand? Now, climate change is a pressing global challenge that affects nations worldwide. It encompasses various environmental issues such as the rising of temperature, extreme weather events, and the rising of the sea level. And as you all know, certain parts of Guyana, we are under sea level. So that is something that is very important to us to make sure that we are um, not affected as badly, or we can mitigate some of that effect of the climate change. So the good thing is that we have that forest here and those carbon credits. You understand? And I'm reminding y'all, Guyana is the only country that has monetized its carbon credits so far. So take that into consideration, right? So the low carbon development talks are essential discussion aimed at reducing greenhouse gas emissions, primarily carbon dioxide, or commonly known as CO2, right? To combat climate change. These talks focus on strategies to transition from high carbon to low carbon energy sources, industries, and lifestyle. Now, President Ali's perspective on the derailment. Now, President Ali believes that these crucial low carbon talks have been derailed. This assertion um, implies that the original objectives of the discussion around sustainable development may have been sidetracked. Now, this is Guyana's unique position. Guyana is unique due to its extensive forests covering an area the size of England and Scotland. These forests play a vital role in the carbon, um, with desaturating the area with carbon, right? Now, this helps to offset the green gas emissions. Now, in terms of balancing economic growth and the environmental preservation, President Ali has advocates for a balanced approach to development, emphasizing that countries like Guyana should have opportunity to exploit their resources for development. This viewpoint underscores the challenge of reconciling economic growth, often linked to industries like oil and gas, with environmental preservation and low carbon objectives. Now, in relation to the net zero target, net zero refers to the aim of balancing the amount of greenhouse gases emitted with the amount removed from the atmosphere, achieving a state of no net increase. The concept of net zero is central to global climate goals and reducing the harmful impact of human activity on the environment. Now, the role of the forest in the carbon offset, that is very important. The forest serves as a natural carbon sink by absorbing and storing carbon dioxide. They are crucial in mitigating climate change by offsetting emissions. Guyana's vast forests are seen as an asset in achieving net zero emissions, as they continue to absorb the CO2 while the country develops with its oil and gas sector, right? So although we're exploring this sector, our forests, we don't Guyana doesn't have the kind of carbon imprint like some of these other countries who have been accelerating their oil and gas initiatives. Now, in relation to developing national needs, President Ali emphasized that developing countries like Guyana require financial resources to address various sectors like healthcare and education for the betterment of their populations. This highlights the importance of financing the transition of this highlights the importance of financing the transition to low carbon development in a sustainable manner. So that is to give you a little more insight on President Ali's perspective on these talks being derailed. The president also underscored the importance of inclusivity in climate discussions. President Ali believes that a balanced conversation should include all stakeholders, including oil and gas producers and countries like Guyana, to address climate change challenges effectively. So, in summary, President Ali's view on the low carbon development talks highlights the complex dynamics between economic development, environmental preservation, and the need for inclusive discussions in the face of global climate change challenges. Right? Um, Now, getting that out of the way, we have another matter to discuss. Right? So again, I encourage y'all, go and look at the Freddie Gildari show last night. Joel Bagodin made a mess of Vincent Alexander. And I won't say normal thing, but Vincent really represent himself well. He didn't represent 𝒑𝒔𝒆 well, and it showed the kind of loopholes in what 𝒑𝒑𝒔 is doing and what they're engaged in, and the fact that there is no real oversight over that organization, and there's no real strategic plan either. Because when you examine the strategic plan, there's nothing strategic about it. One of the things that Joel mentioned is the fact that they were claiming Afro-Guyanese were not getting contracts and those kinds of things. One of the things I was glad that he was able to bring out, if y'all guys notice, recently there was a group of Afro-Guyanese women bidding for oil blocks here in Guyana. Afro-Guyanese women. And he was also able to share with Vincent Alexander the fact that because of the oil and gas legislation, and the fact that it's been implemented for a few years now, there is information in relation to the composition of persons in the sector, and for them to say that you don't have Afro-Guyanese in that sector is a total misrepresentation. Now, these are the 4 women. I think the company is called 𝒐𝒊𝒔𝒄𝒍𝒂𝒊𝒎. I may be wrong. I'm sorry, ladies, if I misrepresent your company. But these are the 4 women who have been bidding for oil blocks here in Guyana. 4 Afro-Guyanese women. So how Vincent Alexander not seeing this? How he know about this? How 𝒑𝒔𝒆 know about this? Right? So I had to share this with y'all. 4 Afro-Guyanese women. Moving on. Bam bam, pim pim. As Sherrod used to say, as Sherrod does still say, pim pim, pim pim. Y'all know this guy? He's a justice of peace. I think he's a former military officer. And he's an executive member of the People's National Congress. He's the chairman of Region 4. You understand me? The chairman of Region 4. Look at this guy. No, I wanted to share with you. This is the kind of nonsense these guys going on with. No. This here is Mr. Daniel Seram, JP. And you know JP being Justice of the Peace. So research reports surrounding the chairman of Region 4, and there's Demerara Mahika, no place else, Demerara Mahika, and the executive member, an executive member of the People's National Congress Reform, Daniel Seram, have raised concerns not only about the conduct of the individual, but also it borders the broad implications and the light that it casts on Guyana. These guys terrible. So, first of all, when these persons were in power, we saw that they took things from a different angle. Once you get power, it's trouble. So not so long ago, there was an allegation of this gentleman being involved in an issue where he brandished his licensed firearm in clear violation of the law. And this sort of thing undermines the principles of responsible gun ownership. So when other persons who have genuine issues are applying for firearm, people remembering the nonsense like what Daniel Siram doing, and it's harder for them to get through with the firearm license as a genuine firearm license holder. Nonsense, Daniel. Right? Now let's look at the impact on public trust. The conduct of public officials reflect on the worthiness of the parties and if in case sometimes the governments they represent. And these kinds of things we have to take seriously because persons like Daniel paint a picture that Guyanese politicians are not willing to operate in a certain type of manner. I'm glad that the police have gotten themselves involved in this matter, and they are going to be pursuing it to the full extent of the law. To the full extent of the law. Now, if you remember, we had a similar case with the former mayor getting himself involved in certain activities as a public official, allegedly pulling out gun on people. And something happened. I don't know what is it with these opposition persons and their father-in-laws. I don't know what is it. Y'all gotta treat your father-in-laws better. So this matters before the police right now. And the fact that the DPP has instituted charges, there must be some sort of truth there. Right? I wonder if we're going to hear something about this at the weekly press conference of the opposition leader in relation to the conduct of this senior PNC official, executive member Daniel Siram, regional chairman Daniel Siram, the Justice of Peace Daniel Siram. I wonder if we're going to hear from the opposition leader in relation to this behavior here. I wonder if we're going to hear from Red Thread about these allegations that were made against the chairman. Are we going to hear from GHRA? Are they going to come out in relation to women's rights? Are they going to come out in relation to rights of the elderly? His father-in-law is involved. He has to be an elderly man. Elderly folks have rights too. Elderly lives matter too. So I'm hoping that GHRA, Red Thread, and those organizations come out and speak out against this terrible, terrible action. Right? And then these are the same people who will come and play holier and thou. Where is the protest from Simona Brooms? Or it should be today. This was in the news last night. So today, we will see Simona Brooms and a lot of other Guyanese in front of Congress Place or in front of the Regional Democratic Council of Region 4 on the East Coast there, protesting, saying Daniel must go. We're going to see Simona Brooms, we're going to see Annette Ferguson, we're going to see Sherrod Duncan and his not so credible source out on the East Coast today. You understand me? Protesting. So this is not the first time. Yeah, Amanza too. Amanza, oh yes, Amanza. Thank you, Sally, for reminding me. Morning, Tracy. Morning, Pam Singh. Nirmala, morning to you. Tulsi Ram, what's going on, champ? So I hope these persons have scheduled a protest. I hope they are going to go down. They could have a team by the Harpy Eagle. They could have a team there. And now we have the new roundabout by the Jaguar. Please go out there and protest Mr. Daniel Siram and the current allegations against him in the court in relation to domestic abuse. brandishing his firearm on persons and things like that. Simona, Annette, Sherrod, everybody out today. The day feel like it's gonna be a little cool, but I'm hoping that these Anamanzo, please, 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 I'd love to see what you guys have to say. I'd love to see what you guys have to say. And I almost um I almost want to encourage people to go out and protest. But I know people got work to do and family to mind and that kind of nonsense. But people should go out and protest. Protest in front of the RDC. The regional chairman can't be condoned with this sort of behavior. That poor Guyanese woman. That's not a stranger, that's a Guyanese woman, people. We gotta stand up for her rights. Where are the active? Where is Melly Mel? Where is Melly Mel? Somebody call Melly Mel, please. Somebody call Melly Mel for me, please. Where is Melly Mel? Where is Melly Mel? Melly Mel ain't got no recording or nothing to show us in relation to this. She got no recording to show us. Look, regional chairman, y'all check newsroom. It's all over the place, man. That's where I saw it for us. All over the place. Same thing with 𝒂𝒏𝒔𝒄𝒍𝒂𝒊𝒎. Same thing with 𝒂𝒏𝒔𝒄𝒍𝒂𝒊𝒎. All this domestic violence. All this domestic violence. Right? And 𝒂𝒏𝒔𝒄𝒍𝒂𝒊𝒎 is a pandit, you know. His worship, the pandit mayor. Oh my goodness. Y'all remember, you can't put oil in people's hand who already done got oil, you know. I even again, and I say it on this program before, I've heard about allegations in relation to Amans as well. So on both sides of the spectrum, there is abuse. That's an abusive party. The persons in there, they're abusive. They're abusive to each other. They're abusive to the party funds. They're abusive when they're at home. What's going on? What's going on? They're abusive to the communities they live in. Look, yesterday, I was in Alexander Village, only to find out that they have a prominent MP living in that area. And you see 2015 to 2020, soon as the rain smiled, Alexander Village underwater. Soon as the rain smiled, Alexander Village was underwater. And they did nothing for that area, living right in there, driving big fancy Lexus or something in the community. But remember these Lexus, them, they come in high. So once they come out with the long boots and they jump in the Lexus, they ain't got time. But the persons who living in that area, who got to walk the children out to school, who got to ride the bicycle through that water, it'll stress them out. So it's a good thing the government doing the work they're doing in that area, putting nice big concrete drains so that flooding is no longer a major issue in Alexander Village. Here, when y'all passing Yarrow Dam, now please look left if you're going to town. Y'all look left on Yarrow Dam there and you see the road that is there. You see the road that is there. They got no taxi man bluffing Yarrow Dam people no more, you know. Right? They ain't got no taxi man bluffing Yarrow Dam people. None. None whatsoever. Those people got the road now. Those people got the road now. When you're going through Lane Avenue, back in the day, people who used to go through there know what it was. Those people got a road now. And it didn't happen 2015 to 2020 with the people who allegedly care about them the most. And that is what I keep reminding persons. You understand me? These hypocrites who are there and unable to effect change in the people's lives that they care about the most now sit in parliament and in other areas and try to pretend like they did so much and now nothing is happening at all. When we know as Guyanese, that is not the case. Definitely not the case. Right? That's definitely not the case. So, again, when you're passing, look at Rumvelt, all them side streets heading to Georgetown before you get to the Rumvelt police station. People who living in them areas know what it was like. And if you're passing and you pay attention, you 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 would know what it was like there. And it fixed now. But RM saying Melly Melly disappear. I saw somebody sent me a snap of something about the Melly Mel show coming soon or some stupidness like that, right? Listen to me. I ain't going on Melly Mel. Um, yeah, no calls this morning again, right, folks? As we're on the phone again. We're on the phone again. So please, no calls this morning. Right? So just let me know if you guys are having calls this morning. Yeah. So apparently Melly Mel coming up with some show or something like that. The Melly Mel show. What y'all need to understand, these people overseas collecting stuff on behalf of people. And three-quarters of the stuff they're using for themselves. You understand? There are cases where they genuinely help people, but most of the stuff they're collecting for themselves. That's how they survive. They're working no way. I hear some claims of having this company and the business and that business, but never a business registration to show you, hey, registered in whoever name at well or whoever. So it's just talk. You understand? And a lot of y'all know that we Guyanese, we like to pump a scene. So we could be in America catching we ass, but down here, we gonna play a game. Right? Down here, we can play a game. So I don't really bother with Melly Mel. Melly Mel is a social media commentator, and an opposition representative, just like Gordon Mosley. You understand me? Please, somebody tell Vishal no calls today, please. Vishal, no calls today, my brother. Right? No calls today. So I was the veteran journalist Gordon Mosley. I saw you got some award the other day from some place. Everybody liking and sharing and that kind of thing. Vishal, no calls this morning, bro. Yeah, everybody liking and sharing. Oh, yes, veteran journalist, veteran, all this nonsense. So I'm like, I look at the award because I had a photo of it up there and a photo of him. And I'm like, I don't know the organization. Like, who's this organization that giving this award to Gordon Mosley? What credibility it got? Like, you know. Anyway, ended up searching, getting to a Facebook page. This is people Gordon Mosley went to school with back in the day in Linden. Linden people. With nothing around Linden people. I went to school in Linden. Right? I went to school. I went to Watuka Day School. But this award that was given to Gordon is not based on any merit. You understand me? Is it your friend know you and they get a thing? It's simple. And if that's the case, that's the case. But don't fool people and pretend big accreditation and big award and all that nonsense. I like how the president dealt with him at GDF. Oh, Mr. President, it's a good soundbite, but what do you mean? And then the president explained what he mean. He explained what he meant. And the mere fact that Gordon could not rebut the president's statements after that spoke to the fact that the president was speaking the truth. You understand me? That is the president was speaking the truth. But you know them. Trouble in the place, by trouble. So again, you guys go and check out that interview last night with Freddie Kissoon, Joel Bagwodin, and Vincent Alexander, and see how poorly he performed. See how poorly he performed. Anybody associated with or has any association to the rigging of 2020, right? Listen to them. You listen to how they speak and how they explain things. They talk in extra slow motion, so they're extra careful in what they're saying. You understand? And the explanation, idiocy, but then because I don't view it as, because remember, this guy's an attorney at law. So he's respected in certain quarters. So me having a different view on his comments there, again, might paint me as a racist. And I getting attacked and called a racist. But all I'm saying is, and as you guys will see when you look at the program, based on the information presented by Mr. Bagwodin, 𝒐𝒊𝒔 is not serving its purpose. The money in getting to who it needs to get to, the strategic plan that they currently have, bottom house affair. A bottom house affair. And one of the things that Joel spoke about last night, he said the document, which is a public document, must be able to stand public scrutiny, and to which it failed miserably. Right? It failed miserably. So hats off to Joel again for clapping it in them as usual. As I told y'all earlier, our president is overseas, and he would have attended an event hosted by former President Bill Clinton, former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton, and also Chelsea Clinton, the daughter of the Clintons. These are some photos of His Excellency at the event last night. And again, we see our president out there representing us, making us proud. Making us proud. When Guyana president step in the room, everybody looking around and want to get involved and interact and that kind of thing. The only people who want to talk to this president is the opposition in this country. That's the only people who want to interact with our president. The opposition in this country, right? Everybody else, every other president, every other prime minister, these agencies, the IDP, everybody, the Guyana running things right now. And this is due to proper representation, a friendly spirit, sensible conversation. You understand me? I vex and get to touch on Congressman Jeffrey's statement, because as I ain't gonna mention who. I got a voice note yesterday stating that I need not to only mention what the president would have said in relation to the meeting with Mr. Jeffries, but what Mr. Jeffries would have said. right? But the laptop out of power, so that's why we running from the phone still. And I don't have the information to give you. But a synopsis, the congressman said they spoke on several issues: food security, climate change, and economic growth in Guyana, equal and equitable distribution of the wealth of Guyana between Afro and Indo-Guyanese. And that is what has been happening despite the narrative being put out there by the opposition. We see Afro-Guyanese benefiting, right? We see Afro-Guyanese working in the oil and gas sectors. We see Afro-Guyanese business. We will have Afro-Guyanese women owning an oil block in Guyana soon, once the bidding process is done, and hopefully they win. But the mere fact that they can come to the table and participate shows a different reflection in relation to what people like Aubrey Norton and Rickford Burke and those persons putting out there. Because according to them, Guyanese or Afro-Guyanese are not benefiting from anything at all. Nothing whatsoever. Nothing that this country has to offer in reaching Afro-Guyanese at no point whatsoever. You understand? At no point whatsoever. And I maintain all these persons okay. I am asking you the same question, Paul. You tell me what's equal. What you or the PNC think is equal for Afro-Guyanese and Indo-Guyanese, and let's see if we could work to that. Because up to now, we didn't hear that yet. What could be determined as equal distribution? Right? So probably you let me know and let me filter it to the powers that be and see if they could go down that road. Right? Let's see if that can happen. You understand? Let's see if that can happen. But at the end of the day, and that's what showing y'all, you know. Imagine you're saying that Afro-Guyanese are disenfranchised. Afro-Guyanese don't have an opportunity, they don't have a seat at the table. But when you're presented with the information of Afro-Guyanese having a seat at the table, when you're presented with the information of Afro-Guyanese getting contracts, Afro-Guyanese involved in the sector, you come up with another question to ask, is it equal? It may not be equal. It may be a case where the equal amount of Afro-Guyanese don't have the equal amount of resources as other ethnicities to play in the game. So the few that do, they are in the game, right? So is it you're trying to say that because not every Guyanese or every Afro-Guyanese is a multi-millionaire with the ability to jump into the oil and gas sector, any sector, that's the government's fault? What about persons who start the company from scratch? They got this guy, fat boy, and reading up here. And then you get off this telling you're passing a big building. You understand? A big building. Now, people going to school, no, like let's say a first farmer or a third farmer, they might see fat boy around the place to see the big building. That's all they know. But if you were passing at Freedom Hoop there, you get off the stelling and you pass and going to the junction and you see the building there and the sign fat boy, look on the roof, the first floor, on the roof of the first floor, right? There's a bicycle there, a bicycle with you used to hold a basket or a carrot or something in the front. One of those old-time bicycles, the small wheel at the front, it got like a metal thing where you could put something inside and you're riding. I was told that's how the man start. That's how the man start. By bicycle, you ride on. Now we got a 4-story building selling all kind of things. And that's the issue with some Guyanese. We don't want to make the investment. We don't want to make the sacrifice that is needed to get forward. But then when you hit a stumbling block or you don't have what you want, is the government fault? Is the government fault? How? How? Everybody has the same 24 hours. Some use it more wisely than others. Some use it more wisely than others. But everybody has the same 24 hours. And that was an Indo-Guyanese I gave you an example of. What about people like Courtney Ben? You understand? Those people didn't grow up extremely rich all their life. They have a lot of Afro-Guyanese who work and come up. And they got some who work, come up, lose everything, no, they got nothing. But what is important is that the opportunities are there, and persons need to understand. Okay, Paul. So this is Paul's comment. This is Paul's comment. The government can give blacks the same opportunity they give to the Indians. Paul, what evidence do you have of government giving more opportunity specifically to Indians than Afro-Guyanese? Please share that with us. Because I don't think when the bids are published in the paper or they're published online, it says open for tender for Indo-Guyanese. I don't think it says that, sir. I don't think it says that. Right? Open for tender for Afro-Guyanese, or expression of interest only for for Indo-Guyanese. It put in the papers, who respond. If more Indo-Guyanese respond than Afro-Guyanese, whose fault is that? I've heard of cases where you had contractors submitting bid documents without the required. Now, if it's a case that you didn't get this bid because I didn't have the right insurance, you had enough equipment, you got experience, how is that racist? How is that racist? People like Paul, who got all this equipment and all this knowledge in relation to construction and logistics and whatever it is, trucks and everything that they have, right? Why Paul don't come out and set up a business and get all the documentation and bid to be one of the Afro-Guyanese who get into with contracts? You don't think there are Indo-Guyanese who bid for contracts and because they don't have the requirements, they don't get through? Is everything that you go to get through it, you're gonna get through it? Same thing with the claim at the bank. Now, if you, all right, don't let me say you got bad credit. Let's say you start off late in life, you now get little money, you're opening a bank account late, right? You don't have any credit history. You don't have any credit history. You think that makes it easier for you to get a loan or harder? And do you think that is based on race or the fact that you got no blood clot credit history? Let me look at it from a different angle. Let's say you got bad credit history. You shop at courts, you don't pay them. You shop at singers, you don't pay them. You probably take some loan somewhere, you don't pay it back. No, they got the credit bureau. I guess that's the right name. But they look at your credit. You actually got credit score now here in Guyana. So now because of your credit score, you're unable to successfully apply for a loan. Or even if you apply for the loan, the mortgage or whatever the interest rate is much higher because you're seen as most likely a default borrower. That borrower that will default. But they might lend you, but at a higher rate of interest. Is that because of race or is it because of your situation? And I think people keep mixing the two. They keep mixing the two, especially people like Paul. You understand? So, Paul, I'm inviting you to Guyana again with all your experience, with all your equipment, with all your knowledge. And if you get the same problem, I will make sure you're right. NIS compliance, GRA compliance. If you're bidding for big contract, you gotta get bid security and insurance and all kind of thing. You understand? And those are the checks and balances that the government has in place to ensure transparency and fairness. Right? In some cases, it might come over as red tape. But those are the checks and balances that are there. You gotta have certain things to be able to bid on certain contracts. This is the foolishness that's getting me vexed with this man, you know. Look at this nonsense. Look at this nonsense. Paul, where is the evidence of that? Where is the evidence of the government always providing all the funds up front to Indian contractors? Look, that's why I tell y'all sometimes I just want to block this man. Because you just talking based on the foolishness you hear coming out of people like Bork and Sherrod Duncan and them. You in here, but the guy who was supposed to bring the scales under David Patterson, who get paid for the scales that didn't reach yet in full, who was working for the coalition during the elections. You didn't hear about that? Oh my God, the guy, you're a hypocrite, partner. You are a hypocrite. You are a hypocrite, sir. You have no evidence of that claim that you're making. There's no way that you could go and present that to show that contractors are paid up front full. I just gave you an example of the coalition paying a contractor in full and yet not delivering what was paid for. But you're not concerned about that. You are not concerned about that. And you won't give me no example. You just talking off the top of your head. I guess you got a steak on the grill in your backyard, and you just gaffing. You just gaffing. You have no evidence of what you're claiming. I gave you one example. David Patterson bought scales that were never delivered to Guyana up to this date. The contractor was paid in full. The contractor was also the person assisting them with their elections campaign. Conflict of interest. Do you have evidence of his St. James being paid in full, Paul? Do you have evidence of them being paid in full? We're waiting. We're waiting. How much schools were constructed under the coalition, Paul? How many new schools were constructed under the coalition, Paul? That's my question to you this morning. How many new schools were constructed under the coalition? We're talking about the one at Bami that didn't finish. I concede, you're correct, the school didn't finish. In relation to whether the contractor was paid in full, I'm asking you to provide the evidence of that. I'm also asking you to share with us how many new schools in whichever region were constructed under the coalition. And this is Paul's response. Because I am not agreeing with the lunacy that Paul presenting here, I am missing the point. And y'all remember tell y'all earlier in the week or last week, the one project that got a little issue, the one project that got a little issue, that is what look, Pastor K2. Okay, Paul, thank you for the schooling, K2. Look. Anyway, so the one project that got an issue, right? The one project that has an issue, the contractor, whatever happened with the contractor, right? The project is not on time. That is what Paul holding on to, right? Not none of the new schools that build, not none of the new schools that are under construction in various regions. That is not his concern. The one school where the contractor got an issue, not the government, the contractor messing up. And they got things like surcharging and that kind of thing, penalties that are implemented to the contractor in relation to their late delivery. But Paul is not going to say that to anybody. Paul is going to pretend like that is not something that happens. And he, as a big-time foreigner, knows about being surcharged as a contractor for late delivery. Now, imagine, guys, please, no calls this morning. I'm on the phone, so I can't answer any calls, right? Sorry about that. So Paul jumps to the Cemetery Road project, right? Yes, the Cemetery Road project is delayed. But you see the Independence Boulevard project that complete? Oh, comrade. Oh. The people tell y'all the zombie in the cemetery harassing them. We had to find contractor with strong spirit to go back to Paul. You know who does go and they're praying by them grave and the road. How you gonna mention Cemetery Road, comrade? You know who does go and raising the kabak and all of them. The people pray and make them people in the cemetery harassing the contractors, them, Paul. You know the contractors say so. The contractors say so. The spirits harassing them and they're frightened. You understand? So we have to go and find a contractor with a good jari person, a jari all the workers. If you check now, the work recommence. A serious jari pass the Paul. You understand? Because somebody go and who does campaign at dead house and funeral and in graveyard and them thing, Paul? They anger the spirits of these sleeping souls. Now the souls looking for the person who harassed them. See these people walking upon the road, because they hearing the knocking and them kind of thing. They come out. Paul tell the PNC people stop going by 7 pounds and doing the worries and invoking the spirits. Stop it. Let them stop it, sir. And hopefully we can get Cemetery Road finished. Oh, Christ, man. Give the people a chance to walk in peace, man. Why resorting to these kinds of things? It's not nice. It's not nice. You Cemetery Road. Look at Cemetery Road. Cemetery Road is not even the length of the Independence Boulevard. Come on, brother. Come on. Come on, my brother. Do better than that for me, man. Do better than that. You understand? And that's what I was saying yesterday. Glass half empty and glass half full. You get a boulevard. The Cemetery Road project can't go in, But because it ain't done, you can highlight look at the impact the boulevard has made. Completed. Right? Look at the impact the boulevard has made. Comrade, let me tell you something. What I'm saying to you about the spirits, it is widely reported in the news. The contractor said the zombie them bothering them. Right? It is well reported around the place. The contractor said the spirits bothering them there. Paul, who do you know engage in them kind of thing in relation to politics? Accessing demon and invoking spirit for deliver elections and come on, Paul, we've all seen the videos. I ain't bullshitting you here. I ain't lying to you. I ain't lying to you. You don't think them if they are willing to go to 7 Pound and invoke Burnham to win an election? You don't think that go to La Repentir and invoke the spirits to the road project was slow down? Come on, Paul. We know the nature of the beast we're dealing with. We know the nature of the beast we're dealing with. So don't pretend to not understand what is going on, right? Some persons in this game dealing with higher powers. Some persons in this game dealing with higher powers. Sometimes the power. Paul, I saw a video. Paul, I saw a video. I saw a video, comrade. I saw a video. Come on, Kubaka. You're lucky my computer dead, I would have played for you, Paul. Come on, Kubaka, Udu, we call you by your call name. Udu, Kubaka, come and deliver this election. You want to remember that? You saying that was fake? You saying that Annette Ferguson at the people funeral who she couldn't even remember the name, that was fake? You saying that was fake, sir? You better stop it. You better stop it. You better stop it. Don't do it. Paul, this is the technological age. Once it's online, it's online. In case if you delete it after, we still got it. We still got it. You remember Paul Basil Williams outside the GCOM Region 4 office said we had a clean, free, and fair election? You remember that? And then we turned into. And Paul, look, listen, folks. Today is Tuesday, and it's the 19th of September. We are still celebrating Heritage Month. So, on that note, I'd like to extend heritage greetings to all my Indigenous brothers and sisters out there. I would like to encourage persons to get engaged in the heritage activities. I know it may be winding down, but still, get yourself involved. The Batavia Heritage Village Day, that was last weekend. I saw this excellency up there. A lot of things on the card for the community of Batavia. They have a new quarry up there. I think some aspect of tourism is supposed to start kicking off in the community as well. So we see developments on all different fronts coming from this administration, right? Anyway, that's all the time I have with you guys today. I am gonna leave you with one of my favorite Indigenous songs. You understand? We jamming, like I said, it's still Heritage Month. Try to get yourself involved in these celebrations in some way, shape, or form. I know everybody knows somebody Indigenous. So just reach out, be friendly, check out the activity, throw out your belly, eat the Tacoma warm alive. People, eat the Tacoma warm alive. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. Eat the Tacoma warm alive. Sample some tumo pot or something, right? What is happening today? Oh no, I'm on the phone. I can't even check. But it's supposed to be a event-filled day. Government working, opposition working, not so much working, whoever they're working. Paul, how the steak looking? Send me a video of the steak, man. Let me see what you're eating today. Let me see what's on the grill today, bro. Brody, what kind of steak we got? We're a shashi? Paul tell me I know about steak. I shouldn't talk about steak. Right? All I know about Paul is Wagyu. That's it. Wagyu. That's all I know about, bro. Right? So, yeah, sirloin, T-bone, ribeye. Yeah. He's got steaks in Guyana too, man. Got steaks in Guyana too. Anyway, thank you for joining me on the program this morning. Yeah, shout out Paul. Paul just watch me from YouTube. Right? But he's a good guy, He's a good guy. We disagree on some things, but he's a good guy. He don't bear malice. I don't bear malice. But sometimes some of the stuff, some of his points just get to me. But Paul is my friend. But yeah, man. Cricket tonight. Man, look, this year is we year. I'm saying, what? Rowena, y'all is trouble in this place, Y'all is trouble in this place. Yeah. Paul, make sure you tune into the cricket tonight. Guys. Like I said, I don't think I want to stream this cricket thing. I getting in trouble, Facebook blocking my accounts and all kind of thing. My regular viewership ain't even here this morning. You understand? I don't like it, so I keeping away from this cricket thing, man. I ain't able to no trouble with Facebook. I ain't able to no trouble with Facebook. But guys, thanks again for joining me on the live. It was really great being here with you. Remember, it's all about peace, love, and that one Guyana. See you again right here, same time, same place tomorrow morning. Be safe out there.
𝒏𝒐𝒕𝒆